Spanish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki has said his country is not sending a delegation to the V4 summit in Jerusalem, following comments by an Israeli foreign minister who said that Poles collaborated with the Nazis and sucked anti-Semitism from their mother's milk. Acting Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz made the comments on Israeli TV on Sunday, citing something once said by former Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir, whose father was murdered by Poles. The developments mark a new lull in a bitter conflict over how to remember and characterize Polish actions towards Jews during the German occupation of Poland in World War II. Morawiecki had already announced Sunday that he was pulling out of the meeting in Israel on Monday and Tuesday with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and leaders of 4 Central European nations. The V4 summit in Jerusalem was a planned gathering of leaders from Slovakia, Czech Republic, Poland and Hungary.
The Nigerian Army spokesman Colonel Sagar Musa, in a statement in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, on Sunday, said the Army Special Forces successfully repelled scores of Boko Haram terrorists in gun trucks that attempted to attack a Buniyadi military base on Saturday evening. The spokesman said that during the gun battle, 5 Boko Haram terrorists were killed, while dozens escaped into the bush in gun trucks and weaponry with gunshot wounds, while an officer and 3 soldiers lost their lives during the encounter, with 5 injured soldiers currently receiving treatment in the brigade. Musa further stated that 9 AK-47 rifles, an anti-aircraft gun and ammunition were recovered in the battle, and advised its personnel to remain resolute, alert and decisive, as well as professional in discharging its onerous national assignment. Former chairman of National Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, on Sunday described as false the statement from the Kaduna state government that 66 people were killed in attacks on Kajuru local government area of the state. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Kaduna State, also debunked what it described as false alarm raised by the state government over the killings. CAN called for a disregard of statements from the Kaduna State government, declaring that should Kaduna State experience any breach of security before, during and after the general elections, CAN will hold the Kaduna State government responsible. El-Rufai had said that the report of the killing of about 66 Fulanis in Maro, Kajuru local government was a deliberate killing designed to attract reprisals and destabilize the local government during the election. Benue State Police Command has confirmed the assassination of the chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Boniface Okoloho, in Ohimini local government area of Benue State. A statement by the Communications Directorate of Jime Ode Campaign Organization quoted the party's governorship candidate Emmanuel Jime as strongly condemning the assassination. Jime, who expressed deep sorrow over the gruesome murder of the late party chieftain, sued for peace and brotherliness in the politics of the state, calling on the government of Benue State and security agencies to fish out the killers of Okoloho and bring them to book to serve as a deterrent to others who may want to further the politics of violence. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Adams Oshomole, is to appear before a federal high court in Abuja in a contempt suit instituted against him for flouting a court order restraining him from dissolving the Daniel Nwafo-led executives of the party in Imo State. The injunction, issued on August 14, 2018, ordered the former governor of Edo State not to tamper with, dissolve or remove Daniel Nwafo-led executives from office. But the APC chair went ahead to dissolve the executive committee and inaugurated a caretaker committee headed by Prince Marcellinus Lemigo to pilot the affairs of the party in the state. In a related development, the chieftain of the party, Augustus Onwuchedu, wants the court to imprison the defendant to serve as a deterrent to others who, according to him, might want to undermine the nation's judicial system. The ruling All Progressives Congress APC has issued 6 queries to the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC following the postponement of the general elections by the electoral umpire. The position of the party was disclosed at a news conference addressed by its Director of Election Planning and Monitoring, Babatunde Raji Fashola, and that of Contact and Mobilization, Hadiza Bala Usman, on Sunday night in Abuja. Fashola threw several questions to INEC, saying he believes that members of the public should know what steps INEC has taken with CBN to assess, take inventory of materials, and brief the public about their condition. Fashola further questioned the specific problems INEC encountered in the failed attempt of Saturday, February 16, 2019, and measures it has taken to overcome them in terms of transport, logistics, materials, vehicles, boats, trucks, airplanes, helicopters, manpower, and funding INEC requires to execute the elections of February 23rd and March 9th. Reactions have continued to trail the one-week postponement of the general elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Kaduna State Chapter has issued a statement addressing the postponement of the elections and the press release made by the Kaduna State government on the killings of about 60 people in the state. Speaking with our correspondent Bosan Yakusak in Kaduna, Chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Kaduna State, Reverend Joseph Ayep, described the press release by the state government on the 66 recovered bodies as unfortunate, calling on Nigerian leaders to have the fear of God.
That the governor of a state will manipulate information for political reasons is quite unfortunate, because that's a manipulation of information. There was a crisis in that community on Sunday, and the crisis spilled over to Monday, because there was a reprisal attack. But efforts were made between Monday evening and Tuesday to calm the situation, and people have been called upon to go back living their normal life. Wednesday, Thursday, everybody is calm. Nobody even remembered that there was a crisis. Friday afternoon, nobody remembered there's a crisis. Everybody is waiting and hopeful for election on Saturday, only for the governor to send his pressman to make a release in the evening of Friday that 66 people have been killed. And he went further to even make it as an insinuate or a way of creating friction between other people by saying that the particular tribes were the people that were killed, 66. He has forgotten that part of those who were killed on Sunday were people of other tribes and another faith. A mass burial was done for them. He knows all about it. Why will he manipulate information at this crucial time? I want to appeal to our governor that for once, let's fear God. For once, let's begin to behave responsibly. Let's carry everybody. You don't play politics with lives and this thing. Oh, let's instigate the Fulani so that since Buhari is part of the... Unfortunately for him, Buhari and Atiku are all Fulanis. So what are you instigating to serve? Or let's say, what purpose do you want to achieve by saying those things? So he misled Nigerians. Sadly, so many television houses, so many radio houses, so many print media, some, I can say without fear of contradiction, may have been induced to propagate that story so that it will heat up the system.
On the postponement of the polls by INEC, the CAN chairman said INEC has no justification whatsoever to postpone elections less than 6 hours to its commencement.
How prepared from reports from states showing that INEC state commissioners are saying they are prepared, they've started distributing materials. The question now we are asking is that those materials that have moved out of INEC office as at yesterday, where are they today? What will happen to them? How sure are we that those materials will be returned, saved the way they moved out? Are they not also another plan for rigging, another plan for manipulation, another plan for doing what is wrong? We've listened even people trying to justify that, but this is not the first time Nigeria is postponing election. And we ask this question: is there any pride for you to repeat a mistake? You repeated a mistake 10 years ago. You repeated it again 5 years ago. You are repeating it now. Are you showing that you have not grown? Are you showing that it's no longer an institution, so there is no improvement, there is no continuity, there is no... And even if you use that it was done during Jega's time, I can say to you that as a Nigerian, I remember very well that Jega was appointed as INEC chairman. He never lasted 1 year to conduct the 2011 election. So when Jega had 4 good years to serve, we saw how the election was conducted. This current leadership of INEC was appointed over 3.5 years ago. So what justification can she give to Nigeria? And some of us who follow the events around INEC will know that there are very competent Nigerians who had served as members of the transition monitoring groups, have served as very good people in different angles of Nigeria, that are director of SSS, that are now commissioners of INEC. If they can do this kind of error, if they can caused Nigeria this kind of pains. People travel a lot yesterday to different places of this country, only to arrive this last night, and this morning you are telling them no election. They will come back. Are you trying to discourage them not to go back to their places? These are some of the issues, and I feel INEC did not do well. And INEC should remain neutral and remain that independent INEC. INEC must not make us Nigerians to start suspecting that someone is teleguiding, someone is controlling, remote controlling them, someone is telling them what to do and what not to do. We hold prayers and videos all over Nigeria for INEC success. We call on our people to trust INEC. Is it an answer to our prayer that INEC was not honest to us, that God is exposing them? So these are the issues INEC will be answering to us between now and next.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has been accused of attempting to sway the outcome of the forthcoming presidential election in favor of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) by conniving with some officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). President of the National Front of Nigeria (NFN) and former Commissioner Public Complaints Commission Alhaji Abubakar Saf made the accusation on Monday in Abuja. According to Abubakar Saf, Obasanjo was in the forefront of compromising the entire process and had finalized plans to rig the elections with the support of cohorts Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate, and Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State. The NFM president said, having sensed that Nigerians will vote in a way that will disgrace him with his failed alliances and lying letters, Obasanjo decided the only way to save his face is to manipulate the election by compromising the umpire. While calling on foreign observers not to go beyond the terms and conditions of their observation mission, the group urged the federal government to remain alert as the danger has not passed, but has only retreated to mutate into something more evil if not checked.
The nephew of Professor Yakubu has hurt the country in no small measure. Right under his nose, staff of the commission were compromised by the opposition to the extent that even the final list of candidates were presented for his signature only after Alaya Atiku Abubakar, the Chief Obasanjo, and Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike have approved it. The compromise of INEC was so bad that results have been written in favor of the PDP before the election day. While sensitive electoral materials were delivered, the PDP retains in several areas, hence the failure of the materials to be delivered to the right destination and computers at a few hours to the election.
Nigeria's presidential and parliamentary elections suffered a huge setback after the electoral body confessed to lapses in logistics as well as plots by certain groups to hijack the exercise. A Zimbabwean magistrate has sentenced prominent opposition politician Tendai Biti to 7 days in jail, but has given him the option of paying a $200 to avoid imprisonment. The magistrate earlier convicted Biti to violating electoral legislation by declaring opposition candidate Nelson Chamisa the winner of last year's disputed presidential poll, preempting an official announcement that President Emerson Mnangagwa had won. Meanwhile, the sentence is relatively lenient, but Biti said he would appeal against his conviction and said the charges were part of an attempt to crush the opposition.
Welcome to TVN Sports Updates. The Nigerian Referees Association has suspended 18 referees from officiating matches in the ongoing 2019 Nigerian Professional Football League Although the reasons for the suspension were not made available, it is understood that it is not unconnected with unprofessional conduct in the discharge of their duties. The NRA further reiterated its determination to enthrone professionalism and fair officiating in the MPFL while applying global and FIFA officiating rules at all times. Part of the statement disclosing the suspension of the referees read that the NRA, while recalling that it has recommended for punishment, referees found wanting in the course of discharging their duties, as about 18 of them in the Premier League list have so far been relaxed for further appointments pending the final determination in their cases in the MPFL, that is in week 9. The referees body strongly adopt a zero tolerance to corruption and bribe taking in the system and can be proud to state that in the past 4 years, there has never been an established case of bribe taking raised against Nigeria's referees, both at home and at international levels. Chelsea loanee Victor Moses made his first league start for Fenerbahce as the club played out a 1-1 draw with Kayaspor at Sukru Sarıgolu Spor Compleski in Istanbul on Saturday. The former Nigerian national teamer previously made appearances off the bench against Yeni Malatyaspor and Zespe and Kayserispor prior to the contest against Konyaspor. Moses missed a chance to open the scoring before a half-hour mark after seeing his header went off target. According to the run of play, Moyek Fofana gave the visitors the lead in the 36th minute, only for Jarrison to restore parity for the Yellow Canaries in the first minute of the first half of stoppage time. The chairman of the Lagos State branch of the Sport Writers Association, Debo Oshudun, said the upcoming Lagos Media Marathon scheduled for May 1st is not exclusive to only journalists. Speaking at the weekend in Lagos, Oshudun, who is the deputy chairman of the organizing committee, said the marathon, though being spearheaded by journalists, is open to every member of the public to participate and have fun. According to Oshudun, with the 3,000 naira registration fee, participants are guaranteed a quality goodie bag, quality ranking kits, as well as medal, among other things. Registration for the marathon will officially take off on Friday, March 1st. Flying Eagles head coach Paul Aigbogun is disappointed to see his charges ended their campaign at the 2019 Under-20 African Cup of Nations in Niamey on a negative note, following a 5-3 penalty shootout defeat to South Africa in Saturday's third-place match. The West Africans dominated proceedings inside the Saini Konoche Stadium, but were unable to break down the Amjita, who were resolute in defense. And Aigbogun regrets that his team's outing in Niger ended with a defeat. Penalty shootout was required to determine the winner after both teams failed to find the back of the net in regulation time. It was, however, the South Africans that carried the day, scoring all their 5 penalties, with the impressive Ibrahim Alassane missing for Nigeria. Nigeria and South Africa, alongside with 2 finalists, Senegal and Mali, will be the continent's representatives at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Poland in May.